Yo, welcome back to the channel. I'm your host, Joe Pro 973.
Nah, look how far I came, I got something else to brag about. Only thing changed is the money, what they mad about. Staying in my lane, can't afford to be crashing out. Nah. Lost a lot of ends, lost a lot of friends. Free the gods though, doing time in a pen. With your heart like, I had dark nights. Now it's Louis V with the off-whites. Corner store candles, we ain't have lights. So every watch.
My homeboy, Rillagauge, man. If you don't know this guy, you need to get to know him because he been out here putting that work in from, tours with other Jersey legends such as Fetty Wap to, making some real moves out here in the industry, representing with other local legends and just doing his thing in the music industry. Today, we got my boy and we gonna have a conversation for y'all and hopefully y'all enjoy. So like, share, subscribe if you're going to get anything from out of this video. But for now, I'm about to shut up. Bro, what's good with you, man?
What's good, man? How you feel, man? You already know. I'm in the building.
That's what's up, man. That's what's up,
Just
man.
glad to be here,
Yeah, man. And it's kind of like crazy that when we saw each other, because I haven't seen you it's been a while since I was up in, that section of town, the Ivy Hill section.
Right.
And when I kind of started seeing you moving around on Instagram, I'm like, damn. I knew that you used to rap, but I wasn't sure of the levels and the heights that you had reached.
Right.
So for those of, the people that's viewing that may not know who you are, just tell them, a little bit about who you are and how you got your start.
I go by the name of Rillagauge. My first name, when I first started rapping, it was T Rills.
T Rills.
You get what I'm saying? People want to ask me like how you come up with the name T Rills, because as myself as a person, I always look at myself as a realist.
Okay.
I try to keep it 100. I keep it real. Well, I don't even say try. I keep it 100.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? To well as my understanding.
As you should.
Right. I keep it a buck, a grand, whatever you want to call it. But that's how T Rills came. So then it was like through the years, I start seeing my pen game get even more better. I start getting elite with the writing skills.
Yeah.
And, I changed over to Rillagauge.
Okay.
So people be like, where you get Rillagauge from?
Yeah.
I still kept the Rills in the name, but gauge, gauge is like a gauge is like a level of pressure.
Exactly.
So I'm a real, pressure. Like I bring that real substance, that real good music, and it's pressure. I bring that pressure. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So Rillagauge, and nobody had that name.
That's a dope concept, man.
Right.
And speaking of T Rills, I was down the YouTube rabbit hole and I looked at one of your videos. This was from like 15 years ago, bro. And it's just such a powerful moment and a dope moment to see you in your element from that time. You was at a studio, I believe the studio may have been in Jersey City, and you had just got finished recording something. You went up in the store and you was popping your junk, but it was like a little vlog and
right.
stuff.
Shout out to Shaky Hands. I was Shaky Hands spot.
Yeah, but
that's where it started. I started from there.
But it was nice to see you in your element, and I'm like, yeah, that was real dope. You know what I mean? Because I used to rap too, like we was talking about a little bit off camera with me and Taj Mahal. Shout out to bro.
Right.
But,
shout out to Mahal.
Yeah, we never really had the idea to just record ourselves and to just put ourselves out there in that element.
Right.
Like we kind of had, I guess you would call them vlogs now, of just riding around the hood, doing little stuff, but not about capturing the element of the artist. And you were early to that game. So speak to the mind state of just you being able to do that and just like what went into you just turning the camera on yourself, recording it, and just capturing the moment of you going to the studio.
Basically, at that time, YouTube was starting to get popping. This was like around 2009, 2008-ish, and YouTube was getting popping at that time. So people was putting out a lot of content and videos.
Video
so
format.
with their like music or them just going on a daily basis what they do as an artist.
Yes.
So I started to pick up because I seen that it was gravitating. Like it was, it was causing traction.
It was becoming a new lane,
right?
And it was able to
what I'm saying?
Get yourself out there.
Yeah, it was starting to build an audience for the artist. So I was like, wow, you know what? I'm gonna get one. So back then, I don't even remember, they used to have these cameras. It was actually a camera. It was red. I forgot the name of it, but it was like basically a camera.
Was it kind of like the little digital? Oh, okay.
The digital joint.
Okay,
so I brought that with me to the studio, and I started doing, my own vlogs and stuff coming to my. So people got to know me, not just me rapping and you see me.
But
like
that's the point that I'm talking about.
Right.
You
I was already on.
There.
I was already on content before all of this content that we have now.
Fire, man.
You know what I mean?
And also I was listening to your history, because you do have a lot of material that's out there online, and your pen game has elevated throughout the years.
Right.
And,
Appreciate it.
I also would like to say that you kind of have adapted. We come from the era of the MOPs, the Nas's,
right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
The Redmans,
right.
Spitting that raw
Jay-Z,
and that gritty.
yeah,
Exactly.
Nature,
and so you're
Styles,
able to
locks.
exactly.
You know what I mean?
You're able to do that, but I also see that you're able to get into your bag of kind of like that swag and like surfing on the track too.
Mm-hmm.
And so what went into you just being so versatile of an MC coming from the era that we came from?
Basically, like me as myself, like I always been a person that like want to do, like if I see a person doing this and I don't know about it and I see them doing it, I want to do it. Like I'm challenging.
Yeah.
Like it's a challenge for me. So I'm like, okay, this person, doing something melodic or whatever, let me try it out. When auto-tune was popping in T-Pain, everybody jumped on it. So I jumped on it, you know what I'm saying? And I did a couple tracks and people, they gravitated to it, they liked it. So I was like, I can do this, I can be versatile.
It's dope because you get a lot of pushback from artists nowadays that are from a certain ilk, and they don't want to try or embrace some of the trends that's going on now. And I see that in your music, you are able to embrace it, but you still able to flip it and keep it Jersey.
Right.
Like I'm not listening to you and I'm getting the vibe of like somebody that's from Atlanta. No disrespect to nobody from Atlanta or nothing right now, but we're Jersey, and Jersey always kind of had our own sound.
I just put like my own twist to it.
Yeah.
But you'll still hear that I'm from Jersey, basically what you're saying.
And that's fly.
And I always keep bars in it too. Like, same thing, like no disrespect to mumble rappers or whatever you want to call it. The ABC rap. Like, I always, even if I wanted to do it, like rhyme like that, I can't. It's so automatic that, you know what I'm saying, like my metaphor and my punchlines. So even if I'm doing any type of other versatile track, any other genres of music, you always gonna get the bars. You always gonna get the punchlines and metaphors because I want to make an impact.
And I really find that to be dope because, just coming from a person who can appreciate the bars, like you spitting in some of these songs. Like I went through, your history, and it's like, man, bro is really doing his thing. And I also want to circle back to kind of what I brought up earlier about you being early in the YouTube. What you also are doing is taking advantage of like the shorts and kind of like the reels. So if y'all go to his page, it's Rillagauge 1 on YouTube.
Right.
So if y'all go to his page and y'all look at the short section, you will see that he's putting out freestyles. And it may be, a short piece of content, but I do like it because you just giving them a freestyle and like you jumping on a beat. It may be a popular beat or it may be an original beat, but you jumping on it, you filming a video to it, and you getting out there. It may not be the whole big production of, a feature length, and you do have those as well, but what kind of went into the mind state of you putting out those freestyles?
I always like I said, like
staying active.
I'm a hip hop artist, you know what I'm saying? At the end of the day, that's who I am. And I could jump into the other versatile things, but it was just like I like to freestyle over instrumentals. I started off battle rapping.
Okay.
Like first it was writing,
I wasn't
then after
even aware of that though.
Right. I was always battle rapping from the streets to the jails, you know what I'm saying, to communities, to anything I was involved in or I was around, well, my 2 feet stopped, I was always battle rapping, battling cats, battling niggas, you know what I'm saying? So it was that. But once I started, to get real elite in it, I just couldn't stop. So I was like, you know what? I'm gonna do some shorts, to the freestyles off a beat, off an instrumental, and just put it out there because now the YouTube shorts will actually get you more traction than even doing the whole video now. It's crazy,
the views go up.
Now, the digital world changed now.
Now is that people have such short attention spans.
That's exactly what it is.
That if you put a nice little snicker out there for them, they can grab to that and just like, oh, all right, yeah. And I kind of see that they doing numbers as well. I was like, man, bro is really active and he putting them joints out there. So that's really commendable to you, bro.
Word.
But
that's the thing. Like, if they see the shorts and they see that it's something that they like and is gravitating, like you said, they'll actually go to your other videos and they'll watch it through. It's like, why would I watch a whole 3 or 4 minutes of this person if I ain't even seen nothing yet? Exactly. So the shorts, actually, that's what I'm saying. So when you do your shorts or you do your reels or what have you, you just got to make sure you have an impact. Just
so taking it back to the block era, you giving them a little sample, a little piece just to get them hooked.
Right, you get what I'm saying? That's how you throw that, you throw that fish, you throw that line in there, you know what I'm saying? Reel them in type shit.
That's dope. Reel them in. Rillagauge is reeling them in.
Factory.
That's fire. But yeah, I noticed that you've been working with a certain videographer. And the name is
Dean Cruz.
Okay,
Crucifix.
Because that's how I was kind of looking at it. I didn't want to mispronounce it.
Shout out to Dean Cruz.
Yeah, I see that he's getting the credit from a lot of your more recent videos. So how did you establish that relationship to have kind of like a videographer on deck to kind of like really just, bring your visions to life?
Basically how I met Dean Crucifix, it was this guy that he was already filming. Like, he films everything.
Okay. Car
shows, weddings, music videos, etc., etc.
Okay. Yeah.
So I had linked up with this guy that he's a follower of me, and he ride bikes, BMXs and stuff like that. So we follow each other, and we show support to each other for a long time. Absolutely. And I was like, yo, who did this video of you? Like, it just looked crazy, the way it was edited, the quality of it, the 4K. I was like, I went in his DM, I said, who did this? He was like, this guy named Dean that I work with or whatever.
Okay.
So I was like, he do music videos? He was like, I believe I do. I believe he does. So I hit him up in the DM. He said, yeah, we linked up. And then after that, the rest was history.
Yeah, that's dope, man. That's another thing that I feel like it kind of escaped me while I was out doing my thing, is that I didn't really put the visuals to it, like recording the videos to the music that we was putting out, and you can kind of just reach such a broader audience when you putting those videos out. And you got some pretty dope videos on the channel, man.
Word. Appreciate that.
What goes into the treatment of it, though? Are you kind of like telling him, like, this is the vision that I have, or do you leave it up to his creative freedom to just come up with the whole vision for the song?
That's basically what I do, just the way you said it. But once I tell him the vision or what I want to do, I get him the locations, and first I let him hear the song first. That's what you always gotta do. You gotta make sure your camera guy hear the song first. That's where he can get a feel and he get visions in his mind.
Connect
where
with
this
bars,
could be exactly.
Yeah.
So we sit down, we build, we bring it together. He give me his ideas, and that's how we get feedback. We come up with something.
And I was seeing, man, it was a lot of joints that you have, like the one in Times Square, like real bar heavy.
Right.
But you also got...
I'm back in this bitch, which mean that it's over. 2021, vision, I'm closer.
That's what I'm saying.
Look at the young face, but I'm old.
You got them bars. But what I also will say is that you got those scenes that's in the hood too. Mm-hmm. And like, I can appreciate that. Like, even the video that you did with Kiss My Bleep, she was kind of like the leading lady.
Oh yeah.
So
Shout out to Kiss My Bleep, right.
It was kind of down there.
Yeah, she played the model series.
We can make a career, 6-figure checks. We can help our family and peers. Let's take over the world, girl. Pretty with your curls swirl. Niggas never took you shopping, Louis and Chanel pearls. Yeah. Niggas never took you shopping, Louis and Chanel pearls. Baby, I'm serious. You ain't gotta think it to be curious. Two of us is one, it just be you.
In an era where everybody is just so aggressive on the mic, and like I said, he can do that, but this was like a real genuine lady female song.
Right.
And a lot of people don't do that. It's like, bruh, we know you got the bars, but can you soften it down a little bit? Like, bro, like, I want to relax. Like, I want to
down your testosterone, my boy.
Yeah, right. So it's like, do you like women or what? Like, you know what I mean? If you don't, then that's you. But you really, like, painted that picture. It was a real dope song, and I'm surprised that, it's not, like, super out of here, because I'm looking at it, and I'm like, yo, everything from even the going out to eat, like, fit, like, it was just, like, a real dope product. Like, how did you come up with that? And what makes you not afraid to be vulnerable to make songs like that?
So basically, I just wanted to cater to the women. You know, one thing about me, you know, all the women. Most of my friends, like now, is like mostly women.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like
You go
cater
further
to
like
them.
that.
Facts, you know what I'm saying? They support, you know, shout out to the guys too, the bros, they support too. Everybody support.
Salute to the homies.
The thing is with me, as a person, I always been like a lover boy type ish. Like I'm street, but I'm for the ladies. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I always cater to the women. So anybody that know me, I stayed with the girls in school, in the hood. You know what I'm saying? Y'all ain't got no girls. Yo, hit T. He got the. It was always that, and it still is to this day. So I just like to do, you know, songs now, even, you know, with my hip hop, just cater to the women.
Yeah.
So that's what I want to do. You know, just saying, you know, I'm serious. I won't never break your heart, et cetera, et cetera. So me and Dean, we sat down with it. We came up with a formula, we picked the locations, and we even made it a little bit touchy. If you look at the video, you know, it's affectionate. Like, you can feel it.
It is.
That's what I like to give my
But
people.
that's what I was
you
saying.
can feel it. You know what I mean?
Like, you know, what kind of led to you, you know, wanting to be so vulnerable? Because, you know, it's a lot of artists that can rap out here. And like I said, I love the bars, but like, show me a different side. And like you weren't afraid to do that. And I just like commend you for that, because like I said, man, a lot of people, they not even really trying to get into that bag. But that's what sells.
Right, yeah, definitely.
They're gonna be at your shows.
Like again, exactly. You know, the women support. You know what I'm saying? And I've always been a ladies' man, so I just wanted to cater to them. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna continue to do that, because that's just who I am as a person. You know what I'm saying?
And so I mentioned shows, and so I want to talk about because you also were on tour with WAP, and you know, free the guy right now. He's
Free
away.
Fetty Wap,
you know
man.
what I
Free
mean?
Wap, Bill.
But I would like to talk about. I know the story of, you know, how you kind of got in that mix, but I would like to know, and for you to let the people know, like, how did you make that connection? Him being from Patterson, you being from Newark, Essex County area. Like, how did y'all make that connection to be able to, for you to be going on tour with WAP?
I met the CEO of RGF back in the day. Goes by the name of Nit the Grit.
Okay.
So you know, through the years, we kind of like we was cool at a point in time, but then we kind of like part ways.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying? Like, not as far as like we don't talk
Any
no more.
friction or nothing.
Yeah. It was just like, you know, how life.
Of life.
Right. I moved to where I moved. He moved where he at, and things of that nature. So then on the Fetty Wap tour, not the Fetty Wap tour, but the Fetty Wap song Trap Queen.
Yes.
I seen that. So I was looking at it at the end, and I was like, I ain't seen him in so many years.
He do the outro like
Right.
Right.
At the end, that's what I'm saying. So I had to look at him because I ain't seen him in so many years. Like I say, you know, we part ways or whatever. I ain't seen him in so many years. So when I seen him, I reached out to him. I'm like, yo, you know what I mean? You my boy from back in the day. So he laughed or whatever. So then when he laughed, I'm like, oh shit. And I'm like, yo, that's you. He like, yo, what's good, my boy? What's up, T? You know, we start chopping it up. And then, you know, we linked up, and I start, you know, doing music with his group, you know what I mean, being amongst his peoples, you know what I mean, industry, being around Fetty Wap. And then he was like, probably like a year later, he's like, yo, we going on tour. Like, you want to go on tour? At the time, I already had a song called Star Ledger Buzzing.
Exposure put you on that stage.
Right. So, you know, it was the song first. You know, I marketed it crazy. I shot a video. Like I said, the market game, and they came out and they seen it. So after that, he was like, you should perform Star Ledger. It already got buzz, it already had motion.
Okay.
So I was like, I bet. So I went on tour with them, and I performed Star Ledger across the country.
And so, like, just that piece right there, it's just so many questions that I have about that, but I'm gonna try to, you know, bear with me, ladies and gentlemen. We gonna get through this. But I want to start kind of with that song. And in that time, in that day and age, you know, like you said, the Star Ledger was a staple in the community. Like, they was based down there on Washington Street, you know what I mean, the building. You would see the people that was on workforce/welfare, like they would be in the streets, they would be pushing the papers on you at stop signs, stop lights. It would come to your house, and so that was kind of like a witty thing of you to incorporate that into the hook of your song. What kind of like went into that for the people out there that may not know?
At the time, I just felt like a star. I felt like a star.
Simple as that.
And then I was getting money around that time. Like I always been attracted to money. I was just getting money, but at that time I was really getting money.
Yeah.
So I just put that together. Like I'm trying to wake up to the paper, like the Star Ledger.
Yeah.
You know how you used to come outside and the paper. As soon as you wake up, the Star Ledger paper. When you ordered, it was right there in front of your lawn. If you had signed up for it to get it, on the time of the basis that they put it on your porch.
Yeah.
So I was like, I bet. I feel like a star, and I'm getting paper. I'm trying to wake up to the paper, to the money, like the Star Ledger.
It's like the
Came
bars
out
write
like that.
themselves.
Right.
At that point, it's like,
Right. That's how
but
a
I'm
lot of my
surprised
songs.
nobody else from the area even thought to come up with something like that, but you did, and kudos to you, NewJersey.com.
Right, appreciate it. Shout out to NewJersey.com too.
They
That's
reached out to
documented.
you.
Yeah,
They
that's
reached
forever.
out to you. They
History.
snatched you up, and did a whole thing, and that kind of gained popularity. Was that kind of like what catapulted you? I know that you had a relationship prior with Nick the Grit, but was that song specifically something that kind of catapulted you and let you know like, nah, I can do this?
Nah, actually, it actually started like I
Before
can
then?
take you back. Yeah, I can take you back. So, my father and my mother, they musicians. My father's still a musician to this day, but my father and my mother, they always wrote music.
Okay.
Back in the day, in the 60s, 70s, and the
That's
80s.
dope.
Well, mostly in the 70s and the 80s, and they used to be a band, and they used to go on tour. So music, I was born with music. Like it's a gift. It's always in my bloodline.
Okay.
Like they had a whole setup in the house. They had guitars. You know what I'm saying? Microphones, ladies are coming. I remember seeing this shit when I was
that's
young, like
fire.
rehearsing and shit.
Yeah.
Like it was crazy. You feel me?
It
So
was literally in the DNA.
I was already accustomed to it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So then after that, through the years, I just started writing. Probably when I was like 13, 14, got nice with it. And after that, I'd probably say like 5, 6 years later, I ran into these dudes from the Bronx. Remember, like we mentioned Jersey City?
Yeah.
Kill Our Rats, which
Okay.
is / Terror Squad. They
Okay.
had a Fat Joe. And I ran into them. They was coming to the same studio I was coming to. So they heard me rapping. You get what I'm saying? They like, yo, where you from, bro? I'm like, I'm from Newark. So after that, they like, yo, how about you join Gun Mob KAR? I'm like, yo, I'm with it. So after that, you know what I'm saying? I started rocking out with KAR. Shout out to Kill Our Rats. And they had already a relationship with Joe, of course, because they owned him. And they had a big relationship with DJ K Slay. You know what I mean? R.I.P. to my brother K Slay.
Yeah, rest
So,
in peace.
right, we started getting on the radio. They started playing our music. So later on, I built a relationship with K Slay, and he started playing my joints without the group, just singles.
Just your
Because I
joint.
just used to pull up on him. He'd hit me. He'd be like, yo, I'm in Angels tonight. I'm in such and such, blah, blah, blah. Like, we built the relationship. That was my guy.
Okay.
So we used to chop it up and blah, blah, blah. He like, yo, you got new music? He said, yo, keep doing what you're doing. You know what I'm saying? You're fire. So shout out to Slay again, man. He was one of my big inspirations. He was the first, DJ that put me on my music on High 97. You feel me? So it started from there.
And not to cut you off, but it seems like throughout your journey, help is kind of like a big part. And can you just speak to help, so maybe that people listening, those that's coming up under us, and maybe people that are the same age or maybe even older, they can just kind of realize that it takes help and it takes a team. So like, what does help mean to you?
I would just say just somebody that actually believes in you. Somebody actually that believes in your vision, to what you're doing. But you also already got to be having something going on for yourself. So you already had to have some type of motion going on too. So when it comes to that, you can't have pride. You can't be too egotistic. You can't have none of that going on with you, because then the person gonna be like, he don't really need my help. He got it all figured out.
Yeah.
And it's no I in team. You need a solid team. You know what I mean? Nice cameraman. Somebody to probably just do videos with you, one of your homegirls and one of your bros. And just a good solid team. You know what I mean? And you really go far.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I just wanted to dial in on that part right there, because you said, just by rapping in the studio, they noticed how nice you were, and they kind of gave you that look.
Right.
So I just kind of wanted you to touch on what help means to you.
It's more like building relationships.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's all it
Network.
is. It's networking and building relationships.
Yeah.
Because once I built a relationship with Slay, you know, it was all said and done. And he
To the
knew,
races.
right? He, you know, as an indie artist, he knew that I needed the help. You know what I'm saying? And he knew that I was real passionate about what I was doing. So I wasn't afraid to be like, yo, man, I got this new record. You know what I'm saying? And if you could throw that on for me, blah, blah, blah.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? Like I said, it come with not having too much pride and stuff like that. Like you gotta let that, oh man, he probably ain't gonna do it. You never know.
Closed
You
mouth
gotta
don't
roll
get
your
fed.
You know what I'm saying? You gotta roll that dice. And if you believe in yourself, you just gotta have that strong willpower and just, you know, have faith. I mean, everything is set in stone.
Absolutely, that's dope. That's dope. But so you you know, you kind of started doing your thing, and at that point in time, once you got with the KAR, so once you got with them, you were saying about when you kind of knew that you was that guy. Like,
Right.
what kind of led to that though? At what point did you feel like you was him?
Hear myself on 197.
Yeah.
And like the projects when they used to wait for the drama hour to come on because they knew I was coming on. So once to hear yourself on the radio at those times and it was like constant and everybody just cheering you on, like, you know, I was the guy, like, yo, he the one that's gonna make it out. He the one that's gonna help us. We gonna push him and stuff like that. That's when I was like, yo, you know what I'm saying? I could really do this. I got people that believe in me and stuff like that.
Okay.
So that's how I feel like, you know what? I'm gonna just keep it pushing, you know? And that's what I'm still doing to this day.
Yeah, I think that's really, really impressive, man. And so you get yourself on the radio, you know, you reconnect with Knit the Grit, y'all go on tour with Fetty Wap. As a song that has such community ties to New Jersey, and you were in a lot of other different communities, the Carolinas, the Atlantas of the world, you know, all up and down the Eastern Seaboard, all across the United States. How did the people react to a song that was so personal to Jersey?
At that time, you know, I kind of, like you said, you notice that I'm versatile.
Yeah.
That song was more versatile, and it's like when you go to a venue, you really can't, like, Amigos type rappers ain't really the crowd ain't gonna really fit in if he opening up for Benny the Butcher.
Exactly.
You get him now. You get what I'm saying? Like you
Yeah.
gotta have some artist that's in his
Your
lane.
lane.
Right. So that song was already kind of like in the RGF, Fetty Wap, Remy
Okay.
Boys lane. You know, it had
Sonically,
the-
it kind of fit
you
in
get-
that.
Exactly.
Okay.
So it all made sense.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
And
So
but
that's
I
why
will say though, no slight to that song because I saw some behind the scenes footage. And the energy, man, you was all over that stage. I'm like, bro, was like you was performing.
Right.
You know, in the crowd, they had a level of energy and excitement as well. But just speak to how that stint on tour with them guys, how it leveled up your performance game.
Oh, that around that time, I never had performed in front of like thousands of people like that. When
in
I
such
did
large
shows,
venues like that.
yeah, when I did shows, it was always probably like 50 people, 100 people. But just to see all them people when I came out on stage, it made my adrenaline rush.
Yeah.
Because I was born for this. This is what I was made
It's
to do.
almost like it had you like supercharged up.
Right,
like,
right. It's like, oh, I bet.
You like
It's
Goku and Vegeta out
you get
here.
what I'm saying? Like, it would still be the same type performance and energy,
Yeah.
even if it was 10 people. That's how I
Exactly.
perform.
Yeah.
But to have actually see more than like hundreds people, it was like, oh, I bet y'all outside, y'all want to shit, so I'm gonna give y'all a show.
It had to be very intoxicating.
Right.
Just like feeling that energy of so many people.
I
Like,
ain't gonna hold you to. As an artist still, and you know, doing it for this long, I still kind of get butterflies when I do something big like that. Before I get on stage,
Yeah.
I'm like, damn, so many people out there. Da, da, da. But as soon as I hit the stage,
Once you
all
hear that
shut
bass
down.
drop,
It's
and
gone.
then
Yeah, it's
you-
over.
yeah.
I'm in a whole nother world, man. Like,
and so I know that it must feel crazy because I've been to several concerts myself. Like I haven't performed, you know, to the magnitude. I mean, I've done little spots around the hood, but I haven't performed to the magnitude of what you did. But I've been to like a Kendrick Lamar concert. I've been to we went to go see Doja Cat, and just being in those environments with so many people, and this was a stadium tour. We was in MetLife, and so just seeing the crowd and the energy and everybody just the atmosphere and it it consumes you. And so, like, I know that feeling must be really, really dope, man.
Yeah,
You
it
was
was
able to
beautiful.
get out there and do your thing, man. That's real commendable.
Yeah, appreciate you, man.
Yeah,
Man, I love it, man. Love it.
Yeah. And so you do have I did see that you said in one other spot that you're not really focused on doing complete LPs at this point in time right now.
Right.
It seems like you're more focused on putting singles out there,
True.
you know, putting the visuals out to them, working on good music. For the people who may not be hearing that or who may not even be privy to that kind of logic, can you kind of break that down, what the thought process goes into, you know, feeling like you just want to kind of do singles for right now?
I mean, you know, like I said, it all goes with like you said, like health. You know what I'm saying? Like I have concepts and I got visions for directions how I want to go about my career. You know now, but you know it all comes with a team. You know now I have a management team, so we kind of sit down, we work together as a team, and we just try to figure out
so
what
y'all
we want
kind
to
of
do
putting a
right
strategy
now.
together.
Exactly. You know, coming up with the formula and the rollout. So that's what I'm doing right now. As far as singles, you know what I'm saying, and then you know. In due time, I'm gonna drop an EP and then an album. Things of that nature. We want to get the buzz.
Basically, building a momentum.
Get the buzz.
You kind of taking the traditional route of like back in the day, how they kind of used to do. Put the artists out there, let them get hot, throw a couple of joints out there. You know, build the anticipation up for the artist and the project, and you know, feed your core fans. Give them what they want. Just a little bit to have them wanting more, and then when you know that right moment comes, you pounce on them with that whole project.
With the whole project.
Hopefully they'll
goes back to what we were saying, like reel them back in, Rillagauge, reeling them in.
Exactly.
You give them that piece first, so then like you know they see what you're working with. You make them want to listen to you. Like yo, he just put out like 3 or 4 singles this year, smash. I can't wait to see what this album like.
Exactly.
Give them something to look forward to. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's fire. That's fire. And speaking of singles. You did the single with Tax G.
Right.
And so, I was listening to that as I was coming in. And yeah, man, you have these concepts. So how did that come up? Because Tax G, he been putting in his work, you know.
Shout out to Tax G.
He solidified, you know. Game. But so like how did that one in particular come up?
Like I said, around the time like this, like with me, whatever that's popping, everybody want to hop on it. You know, shout out to Cash Cobain. He started that sexy drill, him and a couple other people. So, you know, everybody was doing the beats. You can notice, you know what I'm saying? Kalani, everybody was doing it. And still is, you know. It's, I don't think sexy drill going on for a long time. So, like I said, me, I like to be competitive. So I'm like, I could do these sexy drill beats too, man. Exactly. Hop on one of these joints real quick. Hop on one of these, you know what I mean? So I hopped on it, recorded it, put the auto tune on it. This was the original track. It's just me on it.
Okay. Yeah, because I didn't notice that's the remix with Tax G.
Start promoting it. You know, I start doing visuals, you know, like I normally do. I bring it to life. You know, seeing is believing.
Exactly.
When you do the visuals and people start to see you.
People can get behind it.
People, you know what I mean? People want to, you know, be part of it and stuff like that. So the original, it just was picking up. Every time I turn around, I open my gram, open my feed, I was being mentioned. And the mentions was mostly from women. It goes back to saying women. I don't even know these women from a can of paint. Some of them weren't even following. And they was just making content of the song behind it. I'm like, yo, this is lit. So, you know, I started doing more content. Then artists started to reach out to me. Like, bro, let's get on the remix. Bro, let's da-da-da-da-da. You know, shout out to a couple people that reached out to me. I just did what makes sense.
Okay.
And, you know, Tax G, he's a rapper, but he's an artist at the end of the day. He can rap too, and he can sing. So he's versatile too, like me. So he's saying, like I said, it just made sense.
So you felt like that kind of catered to the record even more, and it kind of just, like I said, when you're in that mix, they write themselves.
Exactly.
It's like, so that's what it told you to do.
You know what I'm saying? He hopped on the track, so I just named it the remix because I already had the original. You know what I'm saying? So he hopped on it, so it's Baddest Remix featuring Tax G.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It came out fire, man.
Yeah, definitely did. I just really appreciate your resiliency and just like your ability to like just jump on things, because I also heard the one that you did, you took it was a cover of Coily Ray, the No More Parties. Bro, like when I say like you're like a musician, and so I'm as I'm listening to you talk about your moms and your pops and you know how they kind of had these things going on in the house, that's kind of how you approach a beat. It seems like you are an added piece to that beat. It's not like you have a verse to it, but you are actually a sonic instrument to the beat, and you doing your thing out here, bro. Like some of these ideas and concepts and just the way that you approach some of these tracks, I don't know if I would have had the courage to do that, because in my era when I was rapping, it was just like, yo, how many bars do you have? Like we would jump on a song and it would be like 500 bars. Like we probably ain't had no hook. We was just spitting. But I really I look at it in this era. A lot of people, some people from my generation, they look at the artists now and they kind of not liking what they doing. But I'm loving it. If a guy is finding a way to pay for their life off the music, and they're willing to bet on themselves, how could you hate on that?
Right.
And I just look at what you're doing and other artists such as you are doing, and it's like so commendable that you're out here trying to do something, because if you don't try, how do you know what's dope if you just do what you always do?
That's a fact.
But that's the bag that I see that you're not afraid of.
I would say too, try is a thing, and is actually, people do it, but it goes right that I just said. I do it. Like, you can't do it unless you try. But you can't, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
You try to do it to try. But I just actually do it.
Yeah.
Like, I don't be like, I'm going to try to do something. No,
You
I
don't
just
second
do it.
guess yourself.
Right, because if you already saying you trying, you already kind of failing.
Yeah.
That's how I always had the mentality to look at things.
And this is kind of how I look at the fans and how they may be so fickle. It's like, oh, this artist is just giving me the same stuff that they always gave. But then on the other aspect, oh man, he tried that and I hate that.
Right.
So which one is it? Do you want your artist to stay the same as they always have been?
Or do you want them to elevate?
Yeah, it's like a catch.
It takes a lot of courage too. A lot of people say, and you see it too, like you said, it takes courage.
That's why I
people
live
say
with that.
I don't mind trying different genres and different avenues when it comes to the music.
Yeah.
Once I found out that I was able to do it and I can do it
At a high level,
and I'm elite at it, you know what I mean? It's all set in stones. But then once you become versatile, you can go on different avenues. People going to hit you from different songs. Like, oh, he could do a pop record. He could jump on an R&B record. He could do this. It opens up your bag more too. The more you could do, the more you're going to get paid.
Exactly.
You feel me?
But what do you have else that you kind of working on and kind of pushing? I know Brag is one of your biggest singles also. So
Facts. I just dropped Brag, starting to get motion, dope record, dope hip hop record. Basically, I'm just talking about how I'm coming up and how I'm elevating. And basically everybody got this facts. Everybody got, this concept right now of just saying, this mindset of like crash out. Everybody want to crash out, and that ain't never really been a good thing.
That's not the cool
and not
thing
in my
to
book.
do.
You get what I'm saying?
Exactly.
So in the song, in the hook and the chorus, it say, staying in my lane, I can't afford to be crashing out.
Yeah.
So I'm trying to change the mindset, for the people, like, you know what I'm saying?
And music is very, very high vibrational or low vibrational, whichever point you stand from. But when you pushing positivity and you pushing stuff like that, that could be the stuff that could turn, the people and the younger people who, what they got going on and make them elevate. So
True.
Yeah, man.
Exactly.
Like, is that kind of like what went into you just being off your bag and just, popping your junk for that one?
That's just me being me.
Yeah.
So, when you be true to yourself, and you be me, and you be your own self, everything else will come in.
Bro, you grew
people
up to
respect
be,
you.
Yo, you grew up to be such a cool dude, man. Yeah.
Appreciate it.
Yo, ladies and gentlemen out there, man, I remember this guy, man. We was younger, man. I'm a little bit older than him, but yeah, man, he was always a good dude, man. Stand-up guy, man. And just to see, the man
Vice
that he's
versa.
become,
Right.
In the industry, doing his thing, pushing his music, betting on himself. He's not out here trying to knock nobody's head off or nothing like that, you know what I mean?
Right.
But just to see that, from a just human development standpoint is real dope, man. It's dope to see.
Exactly.
And so, where could they find Brag though?
On all platforms.
All
Apple
platforms?
Music, Spotify, YouTube, Tidal, wherever. You know what I'm saying? It's out on all platforms. Make sure y'all go tap in and go fuck with that record. Video coming soon, visuals coming soon for it.
Dope.
You get what I'm saying? We going crazy.
So have you already started scouting the things for that and giving the
Oh yeah,
treatment
most
stuff for
definitely.
that?
But we ain't gonna give.
Y'all ain't
We're not
rushing.
gonna give. I ain't gonna give it all away right now.
Okay,
You
you
feel
ain't
me?
gonna give 'em
Like,
all
I
the
just,
sauce.
Yeah, I just like boom, like
Reel them in a little
fuck-
bit. Give
fuck
them.
was- That's how I always get them.
So when
I
it
just
pop
hit
out,
'em.
it pop out.
Yeah, I just hit them with it.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying?
yeah, that's dope. Hey, I really would like to say, are there any artists that you feel like you haven't worked with from the town and from the section that you would like to work with, or like somebody that reached out to you for a collab that was kind of like out of left field that you didn't really expect, and it was like, oh man, this is dope.
Since you said that at the last part, DJ J Hood.
Okay.
Shout out to DJ J Hood. You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying? He one of the goats of the Jersey club
Yeah,
music
yeah,
or whatever.
yeah.
He actually, you know what I'm saying, reached out to me. He wanted to hop on Baddest. You feel me? So
Oh,
he could
wow.
have hopped on that. It don't even matter. You know,
Yeah.
I just got whoever that, because I already had motion.
Absolutely.
So whoever that was, got on it and just got on it, you know what I'm saying? It was up from there. But
Yeah.
I definitely do Jersey music too, Jersey club music too. So, soon me and DJ J Hood gonna work on it.
And that's such because Jersey has been club music has been official in Jersey for as long as I can remember, from being younger, being in those basement parties, my older brother going to Club 88,
Right,
Peppermint Lounge and all of that stuff. So
Right,
Jersey
skating
club,
rings and all
yeah.
that.
How could I
22,
not? Yeah, how could I
Branch
not,
Brook.
mention those spots, but
Kickbacks.
exactly. So Jersey club is kind of like baked into the sound.
Right.
And so I see that, with some of these records, we kind of already covered that, but you don't have the fear of going into that. But like,
Never.
is that something that you want to do more of? Or is it just like, I dibble and dabble at it, but, just to put something dope out, but I'm just, I'm trying to do something different?
I'm always, have an open door, an invitation to always work with different artists and different genres of music. That's what makes you an artist. So now that's what I try to grasp. To people that know, if you know, you know.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure you know. Like, I rap. I'm a hip hop. You know what I'm saying? I'm hip hop.
Yeah.
But I'm not a rapper. I'm an artist.
Yeah.
It's a difference. Some people could just rap and that's all. They don't know how to jump into different genres. They don't know how to do drill music. They don't know really how to harmonize. They don't know how to, you know what I'm saying? And it's not saying that they don't want to tap into it. Some people just
Some people
can't.
are just stuck in their ways too.
I would say that it's both,
Yeah.
but some really people just don't have the talent to
They
do
can't.
that. No, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I was blessed with the gift in order to be, you know what I'm saying, versatile. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And switch up and shit.
Yeah, that's fire. That's fire, man.
Right.
And so I guess, as the time starts to wind down, and you're getting ready to head out, is there something that you kind of like want to get off your chest? Something like maybe like a moment that you kind of want to let the people know, or a jewel that you may want to give, or something that you want to give the people?
I would just say stay positive, stay true to yourself, you know what I'm saying? Don't be afraid to put your content out. Don't be afraid, you know what I'm saying, to show people your craft and your work and what you're really good at. You get what I'm saying? Everybody gonna have an opinion, no matter if it's good or if it's bad. Look, like I say, all promotion is good promotion. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? So you could be holding yourself back just
Bet on
because you
yourself.
don't wanna, exactly. You could be holding yourself back just because you don't want to put out the content because you're afraid people might say this, or people like, nah. It's always going to be people that don't like it, but it's going to be more people that like it and respect what you're doing.
Exactly.
Because you're putting it out there. Again, it takes a lot of courage to get in front of a camera. It takes a lot of courage even to get on the podcast and do that. Some people camera shy. You feel what I'm saying? So people will respect that. Even you, probably not even good artists, people will respect the simple fact that you out there making something happen, you putting yourself out there. So you'll never know, you know what I'm saying, where it could lead you if you just don't put it out there. So
Just
don't
put
be
it out
afraid.
there.
Yeah, don't be afraid.
Yeah, don't-
Because you could be holding yourself back
You
from
could be
your
holding
dreams.
on to that $1 million idea,
Right.
You know what I mean?
Just
Procrastinating, not putting it out there, thinking about what the homies gonna think.
Or the people, anybody, your family, your brothers and sisters, man, forget all that.
Yeah.
Just do it, put it out there, and go in and just stay consistent. Consistency always been the key.
Consistency.
You know what I'm
That's
saying?
and invest in yourself.
Facts.
You gotta put that money up. There's,
Right, definitely.
I kind of always like to ask all of the artists that come through here, if they feel like Jersey kind of has been blackballed. And I necessarily don't feel like we are, but I haven't been in some of the rooms that a person such as yourself has been. So what's your take on that?
I wouldn't even say blackball. It's just a simple fact, like, we always been known for, you know, to be some rowdy, you know what I'm saying, rugged state, you know what I'm saying, like, what's up, blah, blah. So I would say, like, the industry kind of fear that. They like it, but they, as far as a business mind, you got to be business minded. So if you're not business minded in this game, it's not going to work out for you. You can't come in the rooms, you know what I'm saying, them big rooms with those big execs, those A&Rs, those big record labels, and you kind of be like on your high horse and you the shit and all that. Nah, it don't work like that. You can't have that type of attitude. You got to
like
be cool and calm
seeing
on the business mind.
In the real world right now with Shador Sanders, everybody thought that he probably should have been the number one pick, but his bravado and maybe the legacy of whatever his pops had done, you know, they kind of humbled him. So they think, and, you know, took him in the 5th round. So I guess that speaks to, you know, being humble when you're moving in certain places.
Right.
Like,
right.
you're going to be,
it's a
you're going to have
business.
the confidence, but like you said, the business has to be in order.
It's a business. If you don't got the business aspect, then you just definitely not going to work out either.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And that's what I had to learn too in this game. Like, you got to be business minded. It ain't just talent and it ain't just a whole bunch of work. All of that is play a part.
Talent is the important.
It all play a part, but if you don't have the business, you
It's
don't know
the
what you're
music
doing.
business.
Right. You got to.
It's the entertainment business.
You get what I'm saying? Right.
Like, people forget about the business part of it.
You know what I'm
So,
saying? You
yeah.
got to have that mentality to be business minded.
Definitely.
And that's
definitely.
basically what it is. You feel me?
Yeah.
So once I had that, that's when things started. You know,
That's
what I'm saying?
when you kind of
people respect
was
you
able
more.
to elevate
Yeah,
more.
people respect you more when you have that.
Yeah,
type of
when you
mentality.
when you lead with the business first, because you want to be able to deal with your art. But I think that's what's important about having the help, having good people in your corner,
Relationships.
because it allows you to focus on your art. It's not saying that I'm totally oblivious to the business, but I'm going to know what's going on. But I can focus on my art, but my T's are crossed, my I's are dotted, and we ready to rock and roll.
Exactly.
So that's kind of like
It's
how you
all
gotta
about
move.
building relationships. That's life, period. Have good relationships,
Yeah.
don't burn bridges or none of that. So when they see that you have that good, you know what I'm saying, that good aura and those good criteria about yourself, they want to work with you. Nobody don't want to work with nobody that's just snobby, got an
Yeah,
attitude all the
showing up
time,
late,
showing
like-
up late. You know what I'm saying? Putting your feet up on stuff. Like, it says don't put your feet up there. You like, man, I'm such and such and such. I'm a big,
Exactly.
and you not even that yet. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So then they don't want to work with you.
But you know what? Even outside of business, right? And this is something that I learned through my journey. Like, yo, just be a nice person. Like, why are you gonna do all of that stuff? Not even if I don't need you for anything. I'm not trying to get into any sort of business with you, but just be a nice person when you come across people. Like,
Yeah.
Like, why am I gonna be extra rude to you? Cause you may be the one at the counter serving the food, or you may be at CVS, or like, bro, just put niceness into the world. Like,
Exactly.
things will probably be a little bit better.
It'll come back to you 10
Yeah,
times more.
definitely. But
Word.
Mr. Gage, man, I'm happy that you was able to come through and, you know, holla at me, man. It's definitely good to see you.
Definitely a
You
pleasure.
know what I
man.
mean, brother? We
Appreciate you,
go
man.
back over 20 years, man, and I can
Facts,
say that
facts.
now. Yeah, I'm getting up there, but yeah, man, it's good to see you out here and who you're becoming and what you're doing in this industry. And I'm looking for more great moments, bro.
True.
Definitely.
Appreciate that, man. Stay tuned. More bigger surprises on the way. You know what I'm saying? More visuals on the way. More music on the way, man. You already know what it is. Your boy
Absolutely.
Rillagauge.
Rillagauge. I'm Joe Pro 973.